What are the terrifying origins of the IG series assassin droid? Why are their creators no longer with us? And what makes them some of the best killers and bounty hunters in the entirety of Star Wars lore? Greetings, curious acolytes of the galaxy, and welcome back to the archives. The Mandalorian series has given one unique thing a very much needed spotlight, that being the IG series assassin droids. IG-11 was introduced to us in the very first episode of The Mandalorian, and over the course of the first season, Din Djarin the Mandalorian would slowly overcome his droid prejudice and become great companions with the assassin droid. In the most recent episode of Season 3 of The Mandalorian, we saw the return of Babu Frick as he tried to repair IG-11, but to no avail, stating that the parts needed for his memory core were extremely rare and nearly impossible to find. Well, my friends, while Din Djarin is hunting down this memory core, we thought we might do some research of our own to trace the origins of the powerful IG series assassin droids, in order to discover why these parts are so difficult to find, and furthermore, why the IG series isn't more widely used in the galaxy. For this datacron, we will be using mostly legend sources, as that is what yields the most information about this mysterious origins of these mysterious droids. But it is very clear that they may be translated over to canon very soon. The IG series assassin droid started production at some point during the Clone Wars by a company known as Flut Design Systems, who were the ones that pioneered the series. The IG units were made in two distinct categories, assassin droids and bodyguard droids. Assassin droids had been illegal in the galaxy for centuries at this point, and even the Empire continued to outlaw their production for a number of reasons. But the main reason is that assassin droids require highly adaptive, autonomous programming, which was infamous for causing them to turn on their creators. However, PDS was confident in their new programming that they would be able to keep the droids in check. There were several models of the IG series that were put into production by PDS in order to sell them on the black market for the intergalactic banking clan and the separatists, believing that their droids could be the key to victory. They also happened to sell a few models of the IG-86 Sentinel droids to none other than the Hutt clan. While these droids were well made and highly prized, they were extremely expensive to both make as well as buy. This is why they weren't put into widespread production and used by the separatists, and kept mostly as bodyguards for the wealthy and high-ranking. In the same series were the IG-100 Magna Guards, droids that were manufactured specifically for General Grievous. Eventually though, Flut Design Systems would go bankrupt, and they sold their latest model schematics to HoloWin Laboratories. HoloWin, who would go on to create much better models in the IG series. And this would be the birth of the IG-88 and other assassin droids, of which there were four fabled ones, A, B, C, and D, named respectively. The very first of these droids to be activated would be IG-88A, who immediately perceived his creators as a threat contrary to the supposed new, innovative programming that had apparently been put in place. Within a few seconds of activation though, IG-88A chewed through the data files in their computer, realized he was an assassin droid, and reasoned his superiority to the biological creatures that had created him. A terrifying experience for the creators, as the designers barely had time to decide to deactivate the droid and find out why he was outperforming their expectations, to which of course IG-88A would not allow, as he broke free of his constraints and would proceed to kill everyone in the lab with his bare hands. He then activated the other three IG-88 units, but copied his programming into their minds. What this essentially did was make the IG-88s a hive mind that shared one collective consciousness. What proceeded to happen next was that the IG-88s going on a rampage to kill every single person in the HoloWin laboratory complex, and then subsequently escape. But not before making sure to eradicate all traces of their designs and programming from the computers, so that no one could ever find a weakness within them. IG-88 would activate a copy of his program into other assassin droids in order to help them in their escape. One of them came into contact with what would be the prototype for his entire series, that being the IG-72. IG-72 was created with complete autonomous and independent thought, and the two droids had a conversation in which IG-88A offered to copy his programming into the other droid so that it could join them in their mission. Strangely though, IG-72 refused, desiring to retain his own independence, but still help the 88s in their mission of destruction and rampage. Afterwards, the IG series series droids split up, with the 88A going off to become a bounty hunter and destroy all traces of Holowen employees, in an effort that none of them would ever reveal anything about the assassin droids. I think it's here that we can take a quick pause and analyze this event. It was said that almost all of the IG series assassin droids were present in the Holowen laboratories during this incident, and since IG-88A copied his programming into most of them, perhaps IG-11 was one of the originals. One of the original 88s, I mean. Of course, we want to be sure to mention that this is purely legends and storyline thus far, and as it stands, IG-11 is in canon continuity. With that said though, if IG-72 was there, as were some of the other models, then it would stand to reason that IG-11 could have been there as well, assuming we can merge legends and canon for just a moment in order to create a coherent storyline. This would mean that IG-11 retained the programming of IG-88 following this event. However, this may not be entirely true either. In Legends, most of the IG-88 units were destroyed by Boba Fett when they came after Han Solo, who was currently in Fett's charge. IG-88A would upload his consciousness into the second Death Star computer systems actually, and be destroyed once and for all during the Battle of Endor, bringing to end the 88's reign of terror. In canon, we know that after IG-11 was destroyed the first time by Din Djarin, he was eventually restored as a farmhand by Kuiil, and when IG-11 was reactivated, he had no memories of what had happened before, indicating that perhaps IG-88's programming and influence was also erased during this data wipe. This would explain why IG-11 was a lot less ruthless and far more open to reasoning than IG-88 was. But anyway, if we merge the legends and canon continuity concerning the IG series assassin droids, then this would make a lot of sense as to why Babu Frick was unable to find any of the parts to speak of. The droids eradicated all traces of their original programming and blueprints, and with the destruction of Holowen laboratories, there isn't likely to exist any parts for the IG series droids that are easily accessible. It's possible that not even those with exceptional black market contacts would ever be able to find any parts for this series of droids after what IG-88 did. But in terms of The Mandalorian Season 3, it's possible that they may adapt this story into canon and have Din Djarin exploring the abandoned Holowen laboratories and fighting off remaining members of the defective IG series droids. So, Acolytes, tell us, do you think that that would be an interesting adventure for The Mandalorian? And what do you think about the origins of the IG series droids? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, may the Force be with you, and we hope to hear from you soon.